29-year-old Ali Nasser Abulaban stood and showed no emotion as a public defender entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. He's accused of shooting
information this afternoon about a double homicide inside an East Village high-rise. It's our top story right here on the 4. I'm Heather Myers.
And I'm Kirsten Holmes. More tonight about the troubled marriage of a San Diego TikTok star who's charged with murder for allegedly killing his wife and her friend.
Ali Abulaban's cousin says the accused killer was extremely jealous and controlling. And as News 8 Steve Price reports, he also talked about the last time he saw Abulaban 3 days before the murders.
Let me give you a little insight about God, Kevin. You see, God, he likes to watch. He's a prankster. So what does he do? He gives man instincts. And I swear to you, Kevin, for his own sick amusement, for his own private gag reel, he sets the rules in opposition. It's the goof of all.
Another day, another social media star committing crimes. With these people having larger and more public presences on the internet, the cases always generate a lot of discussion, and this one is no different. It's an incredibly tragic situation that could have easily been avoided, perpetrated by a man who was honestly doing really well, starting to see success on a large scale on social media following his passion. Ali Abulaban is a 29-year-old senior IT worker turned TikToker from Staten Island, New York. His parents are Palestinian natives who moved over here in the 70s in search of a better life. Ali and his 5 siblings are all said to be educated and liked in the community. Right out of school, Ali worked low-level jobs until he was able to get a job doing IT, and this gave him more time to focus on his passion in life, which was acting. Turns out Ali is a fairly skilled voice actor, doing impressions of famous characters and movie scenes like Tony Montana and bits from Scarface. This would go on to be one of his most memorable bits, along with his Skyrim in Real Life series and his TC69 impersonations. But it turns out all that rage and anger he exhibited through his acting might not have been such an act after all. He has been posting to social media for a good 5 years now, known as Jinnkid. Over that time he managed to amass nearly 1 million TikTok followers, plus more on other platforms such as YouTube. It was also about 5 years ago that he and his ex-wife, Anna, got married and had their first child. Not much is known about Anna outside of her being Filipino when she was born in Okinawa, Japan. She moved over here with family and has lived a good life, making lots of friends where she lived in the downtown San Diego area with husband Ali on the 35th floor of some high-rise apartments. The two have a 5-year-old child, live in a nice area. They both seem to have a good future ahead of them and look destined to have a long and prosperous marriage. So, what actually went wrong?
Ali Abulaban is accused of killing his estranged wife and her friend inside her downtown apartment. To his more than 950,000 followers on TikTok, Abulaban is known as a funny guy, but a family member says the funny guy he knew changed as his marriage fell apart.
Pictures of Ali Abulaban and his cousin Louie. They've been close since they were little kids.
He loved making videos, he loved making people laugh, he loved attention.
But Louie says the last time they hung out together, 3 days before the murders, Ali, who was known as Jinnkid on social media, was acting very strange.
Pulled out a bag of cocaine, and then I was like, you're gonna get us all in trouble. He's like, I'm Jinnkid, you know, nobody can touch me because I'm Jinnkid.
Louie says Ali and his wife Anna moved to San Diego in February, and for her, things were great.
Her social life flourished when she moved to San Diego, and I think he became extremely jealous of that. Extremely jealous and furious.
For reasons Louie declined to elaborate on, he says Anna's friends didn't want to hang out with Ali.
He just became super jealous because his wife was going out with friends and he wasn't involved, and he wanted to control her. He wanted to know what she was doing every time of the day.
Louie says a text exchange he had with Anna last month made it clear that her marriage was crumbling and she asked Ali to move out of their apartment on October 18th. But even as recently as 3 days before the murders, Louis says Ali thought this was all just temporary.
He was in denial about it. He thought they were going to get back together.
Louis added that Ali got physical with Anna during their marriage, but she never thought her life was in danger.
To actually being murdered, I don't think she ever saw this coming.
Anna and Ali had a daughter together. Louis' heart breaks for the precious little 5-year-old.
I can't even smile right now because I just think like this girl, you know, is losing both parents, and that's very sad.
Ali is being held without bail in the downtown jail. He could face the death penalty if convicted.
It's really sad to say, but I hate him. I have so much anger towards him, and I hope that they punish him to the full extent of the law because he deserves it.
Although to everyone online it looked like Ali had everything figured out, it's clear now there was a lot more to the story. Off camera, it's alleged that Ali had got physical with Anna, which resulted in the police being called and him being told to leave the property just a few weeks before the attack, and consequently they would break up. So Ali was staying in a hotel, but secretly he had made a duplicate key to the condo in San Diego, what he used to gain entry when he knew nobody was home. He proceeded to trash the place and then install some sort of app on his daughter's iPad so he could eavesdrop in real time without anyone knowing. A real shady move and an actual crime if you're in a two-party consent state. It's unclear why he trashed the place too, maybe trying to stage it as a burglary to negate suspicion and get his listening device in there. Either way, he managed to overhear a conversation between Anna and her friend, 29-year-old Rayburn Bannon. This sent Ali into a state of aggression, likely thinking Anna was dating someone new. But what comes next would ultimately seal everyone's fate. Because it's alleged that after hearing this, he made his way over to the property in San Diego where his ex-wife was located with Rayburn, armed with a pistol. He made entry to the home on the 35th floor, shooting Rayburn first, hitting him 3 times and fatally wounding him in the living room, then continued to fire at Anna, hitting her once, also fatally wounding her. A total of 6 shots was fired. Ali then left the residence to collect his daughter from school. Yep, you heard that correctly. He went to pick his 5-year-old daughter up from school after he just shot her mother. But surprisingly not before calling the shooting in to the police, which is what initially alerted the authorities to the crime scene. It's also alleged that he called his mother to confess over the phone before being apprehended without incident on the highway. In the vehicle, they found a weapon, believed to be the murder weapon, and recovered the child, who is now in protective custody. Ali is currently being held without bond and has pleaded not guilty at the time of writing, but he's looking at life without parole, possibly even a death sentence.
And a response to the door shut, and we have a team in place.
The witness describes the suspect as a Middle Eastern male that goes by the name of Ali. He was wearing a black sweater.
And for units, be advised that the suspect described is our RP, Ali, who called this in. He drives a black Jeep Wrangler, the Virginia plate unit George Adams. He left shortly after making the call.
517 yellow, 2 down, inside the apartment. 517 yellow, we're making entry, clearing the residence now.
They're clearing the residence for 1475 Island.
2 yellow, we're clear. We have 2 down.
Tipper, 2 down, are they breathing?
2684, can I clear fire in?
We're checking now.
32 Nora, medics are coming 97.
516 yellow, both subjects have no pulse.
This is such a tragic tale and one that we actually hear far too often. You know, the story of the tormented ex-lover going blind with hatred and losing all semblance of rationality. I really hope Anna and Rayburn's family find strength at this troubling time. In the court, when the prosecutor is reading out in detail how they were both murdered, you could hear the gasps and cries of anguish from the families. I really do hope Ali is punished to the full extent of the law. His little daughter now has to grow up without any parents, and I find this to be absolutely heartbreaking too. There are no winners here. Really, there's nothing gained. Thank you for watching.
Luxray B.